Hey everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to take a look at ammunition. Now this ammunition that you see here on the table in front of me is from Golden Tiger. Golden Tiger imports ammunition from Russia. And the ammunition that they import is steel-cased, lacquer-coated, and sealed ammunition. Now there are a few things that separates Golden Tiger from its competition on the market. And who they're targeting with their marketing are people that have perhaps used other brands of steel-cased ammunition that are dissatisfied with the results, and also they pride themselves on having a higher quality product, a higher quality assurance standard than their competition. They also do something besides lacquer coating the steel cases versus polymer coating them. They also do a sealant around the bullet and also the primer. Now this is a military standard. The Russian military surplus ammunition you buy, for example, for the 5.45 by 39, will have this sealant. This keeps moisture out of the case. If you're going to buy ammunition for long-term storage, it's probably not a bad idea to buy the lacquer coated, because the lacquer coating is very durable. The lacquer coated ammunition that is sealed. Another unique feature is the fact that they still apply the sealant to these cartridges by hand in Russia. Also, Golden Tiger tells me that the quality, not only is the quality higher of their ammunition, but they also have the most up-to-date manufacturing facilities, meaning they have the latest and greatest in hardware for manufacturing their ammunition. Now they manufacture a number of different cartridges. They don't just manufacture rifle cartridges, but they also manufacture handgun cartridges. Their rifle cartridges they offer in 5.45 by 39 or the AK-74, the 7.62 by 39, which is the AK47, and they also offer a 223. In the handgun calibers, they offer 9 by 18 Markrov, and they also offer 9mm and 380 and 45 ACP. Their website tells you that they're going to have 40 Smith & Wesson available soon, and they're also going to have 308 Winchester and 30 carbine available in the future. Now, when I talk about lacquer coating, some people prefer lacquer coating. Now, what Golden Tiger tells me is that it's more expensive to lacquer the cases, and that the competition has gone to the polymer coating because it's more cost effective. Now that makes them, as I said before, the last manufacturer that still offers a lacquer coated steel case. Now I fired quite a bit of Wolf ammunition in the past, and here's an old Wolf lacquer coated steel case I have in my right hand, and here is a Golden Tiger round in my left hand. As you can see, the Wolf used to have a sealed primer and also a sealed neck, but they no longer do. This is a current Wolf round, and you'll see that it lacks the sealant on the primer and the bullet. Now, if you're a survivalist or if you're buying ammunition not just for cheap target practice, but if you're also buying ammunition for storage for emergency situations, you might want to consider perhaps buying the Golden Tiger. Now, price-wise, Golden Tiger is pretty competitive. It's within a few dollars of Wolf and other steel-cased Russian manufacturers. But again, you have the benefit of having that sealant, which is something that you ought to consider if you plan on storing the ammunition for any length of time. Now, another thing that separates them from the competition is right here in my hand I have a pulled bullet from a Golden Tiger round, and I have a pulled bullet from a Wolf round. Two things that you'll notice. First of all, the Golden Tiger actually has the sealant around it, but it also has a boat tail. Now this is a bimetal bullet, meaning that it has a lead core, a steel jacket covered by a copper jacket, which is standard for Russian ammunition. Now if you take a look at the Wolf round that I've pulled, notice that it lacks the boat tail. It also lacks the sealant. Now, what independent reviewers have said in the past is that because of the boat tail, obviously you have a better ballistic coefficient, but you also have higher standard velocities with the Golden Tiger versus the Wolf. And we'll take the chronograph out to the range in the next segment of this video and actually test the two side by side and see if we're actually getting a little bit higher velocities with the Golden Tiger. Now, with regards to the powder charges, the same in the powder in both of these these rifle cartridges looks to be identical, perhaps coming from the same source. The Golden Tiger is also claimed to be more accurate than the competition, and that's something that we're going to see if we can get better accuracy out of the Golden Tiger. So anyway, let's move along to the next segment of the video, and let's take these rounds out to the range and do a little bit of shooting. Okay guys, so we're out at the range and we have with us the 7.62 by 39 Golden Tiger ammunition. Now this Golden Tiger ammunition is 124 grain ammo, and we're shooting it at 100 yards, and I'm using an Arsenal SGL 2194, which is the polymer side folding stocked AK. Let's fire off 5 rounds and run down range and see how this weapon's doing with this ammunition. Now you have to pardon me for not using my eye protection today. It's just so hot and humid out here, my eye protection's fogging up and I can't see anything. Let's run down range. Okay, so this is the first test group fired, and we are using the 8 power POSP scope and the Golden Tiger 124 grain boat tail ammunition. It's a 5-shot group, have 1 flyer, which very easily could have been me, and we have 4 rounds that landed in about a 1-inch area. Altogether, you're looking at about 2.5 inches, just shy of 3 inches. Not too bad for a 100-yard group out of an AK. Okay guys, here's the second group fired using 7.62 by 39 ammunition out of the AK. We have 4 of the 5 rounds landing in about a 1.5 inch, maybe a little less area. And again, we have 1 more flyer out here. Seems to consistently throw them out, but altogether we're still less than 3 inches at 100 yards. I still consider that pretty good accuracy out of an AK. All right, next up, let's try some Golden Tiger 223, which is 56 grain ammunition at 100 yards out of the H&K MR556A1 with a 4-power ACOG. All right, let's run down range. All right, here we are at 100 yards with the MR556A1 firing the 56 grain Golden Tiger 223 ammunition. And here we have a group where we have 4 out of the 5 rounds I can cover with my pinky, 1 just a little bit further outside the group, easily within 1 inch. I would say less than 1 inch, probably around 3/4 of an inch for a 5-shot group at 100 yards. Okay guys, I'm out here alone today and I only brought 1 tripod. Leave it to me, right? So I have to get a little bit creative with the chronograph. So I have it sitting on the shooting bench. I'm going to fire 5 rounds of Golden Tiger 7.62 by 39 over the chronograph, and then we're going to get an average and see how it averages out. All right, it looks like it's averaging at 2,360 feet per second. That's the Golden Tiger. All right, so next up we're going to fire 5 rounds of Wolf 7.62 by 39 out of the same AK over the chronograph. I will say this, a lot more muzzle flash that I could see over the sights of the AK with the Wolf ammunition. Alright, it looks like the average is substantially less with the Wolf ammo. We're looking at 2,050 feet per second with the Wolf 7.62 by 39. Alright, next up is the Golden Tiger 56 grain 223 ammunition fired out of the H&K MR556A1, 5 rounds. All right, we have an average of 2,808 feet per second with the Golden Tiger out of the H&K. All right, we're going to fire 5 rounds of the Wolf 55 grain 223 out of the MR556A1 over the chronograph. All right, we're looking at an average of 5 shots at 2,621 feet per second. Okay guys, some final thoughts on Golden Tiger ammunition. Now we've tested both the 7.62 by 39 out here this afternoon, and we also took a look at the 223 ammunition out here this afternoon. We found that the Golden Tiger ammunition stacks up nicely against the competition. It actually has a higher muzzle velocity than Wolf ammunition, and it has a less pronounced muzzle flash. It also has sealed bullets and sealed primers, which makes the ammunition especially well suited for long-term storage. So if you want to buy a bunch of cases and stick it away in the basement, if you're a survivalist or you just like to have a bunch of ammo on hand, Golden Tiger is probably your best bet. Now it is steel cased and it is lacquer coated, and the competition has all moved to polymer coating, and Golden Tiger tells me that the lacquer coating actually is more expensive. So if you're in the market for some good quality target ammunition, please be sure to check out Golden Tiger. I like the stuff and I'll be shooting more of it in the future. You can find them on the web at the URL below. You can also find a list of distributors on their website. You can find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/military arms. As always, everybody, thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.